So once you registered Origin Teams account, you have access to the dashboard and features that help you to monitor and track your AI coding sessions within your organization. Let's go through everything really quick and describe the features that we have. First of all, dashboard. On the dashboard, you will see sessions per agent running in your organizations, token usage these months also separated by every agent, caused by model, and AI adoption, which shows how many engineers are currently using AI agents for coding. Then we have an activity tab, which basically tracks the amount of sessions per day. We do have different metrics here, like top agents, top repositories, lives written these months. We also can track team adoption and see what and how many sessions, what code and how many lines does specific engineer produce within the coding session. We also can track costs and efficiency to demonstrate which agent is more productive, like what is the cost of session, what is the cost of the commit, line, etc. On the quality tab, we can see amount of reviewed PRs, approved PRs, and other useful information, like policy compliance, for example. And the last tab is prompts. Basically here we have lists of all the prompts that our engineers used, and we can do a quick search, find specific session, specific prompt, and use that information for debugging or whenever we need it. Next tab is sessions. So Origin tracks all the sessions that your engineer initiate on their computers by installing Origin CLI on their computer and logging into your organization, to your Origin organization. On this tab, we would see the name of the session, the model, the repository, the branch, a bunch of other useful information. Also, user that is currently running this session, the timeline of the session. By clicking on it, we would basically see all the details of the coding session, starting from prompts and outputs of these prompts to changes that these prompts caused. Here we can see exactly like what changes were caused by this specific prompt. Same here. Then we can watch AI blame. AI blame helps us to understand which prompt caused what specific changes in different files. So by clicking on each file, we could see the changes and what prompt from the session caused that change. Snapshots is the feature that allows you to roll back to a specific prompt. Let's say you wrote some code, you had 10 prompts, and now you want to roll back to the prompt number 5. It's very inconvenient to do it by searching Git history. So instead, you can just select the turn, which corresponds to the specific prompt, press restore, and the source code will be restored to the specific prompt. This feature is mostly useful for engineers on their computers who do a development process. In security tab, basically we have a security analyzer built into the product, and it will detect all the security breaches like credentials, like emails, etc. that got into the source code. So one more time, like here you see all the sessions from all the users who use Origin. Repositories tab basically gives you ability to track all the changes made to your Git repositories or GitLab repositories, whatever you connected to Origin and whatever you use in your organization. By clicking on it, we would see all the commits made by users. We would also see the typical Git view with the lines change. And in this example, we don't see it, but normally we would see the prompts that caused these changes in the source code. We can also see sessions running within the specific repositories by different users. So, repository tab gives us ability and access to monitor and see what changes were made, but which user, which AI agent. We could see that the AI agent and the model is specified here, and what exactly each prompt did for a specific set of files or the source code. Next up is budgets. So Origin tracks budget within your organization. It helps you to project, monitor, and understand your cost utilization, and also set limits for the specific token usage, either token usage or cost usage. We have both tabs here. So here we have a monitor on how much money was spent by the specific engineer, agent, or model. We also have a projection for months based on the previous usage, and current activity, which is basically 0 because this is a demo account. We can set budget limits. Let's say we want to set a daily limit for the specific user or daily limit for organization. We also can set monthly and weekly limits. There are two levels of limits, soft and hard. Soft limit basically allows user to keep using the AI agent and write code. Hard limit will stop agent from writing the code and will give user a warning that he exceeded his daily or whatever budget was set. We're able to set budgets per agent, per model, of course, per engineer, and even per repository. The same with tokens. We show tokens utilization, and we also show the activity of different agents and different engineers on token consumption. Insights tab basically gives you visual representation on what's going on in your organization. We have a few metrics that we measure: AI authorships, lines changed, costs over time, cost by model, session per repository, cost per repository, also model adoption, like what kind of models your team uses most, and many other metrics that are available in Insights tab. Agents. Here we have pre-configured agents that allow us to define what our company policies are, what kind of agents we want to use, what kind of agents are allowed to use, and also we can set up budgets and set up policies on these agents. So as you can see, all the agents are turned on now. Gemini is basically deprecated, so we're going to remove this one very soon. We have anti-gravity instead of it. When I press configure, we are also able to set a system prompt that will be shown to the user, to your engineer that launches that agent on his computer. We also can set session limits on how many tokens or how much cost a specific user can spend using this agent. And we also have a policy tab that allows us to define the rules, how we want users to use this agent. We're going to talk about policies a little bit later. It also shows active sessions, versions. So basically, if you change configuration of the specific agent, you have different versions. You can roll back to a specific version, and also access, which basically shows you who has access to this specific agent. Policies. Policies allow us to define our code development workflow and basically build a set of rules that will restrict, prohibit, or allow users or specific users or org-wide users to do specific actions within their coding sessions in the organization. So we have a few of the basic rules that you can use. It's file restriction. For example, when we want users to prevent using files like environments, secrets, or prod configs, etc. It's model allow list, which will ban specific models from being used for coding. Content filter, that would allow us to avoid using specific words or sentences or whatever we want to limit coding. cost limit, require review, commit message, session limits, and basically it allows us to put even more policies by just typing what we want to do, and AI will generate the policy for us that will be injected to all of your agents, or specific agents if you want to define the policies per agent as we showed previously, and will be populated to your users' agents. We also track violations, so after we define policies and users receive these policies through their origin CLI agent, we will see any breaches of these policies in this tab. We also have pull request checks, which is the feature that builds in the origin process review into your standard review process of GitHub pull requests or GitLab merge requests, whatever. So by default, origin builds into your workflow, and every time when the user finishes its session and wants to push the code to GitHub, you will receive the pull request check, and the pull request on GitHub or GitLab will be frozen until you review the pull request, the sessions that the user ran, the costs, whatever the prompts that he did, the changes that he made, and only after approving here, it will be allowed to merge in GitHub or GitLab. And the last step is infrastructure. It basically shows us how many users we have, what machines we have with origin running, some other useful metrics. So here we can track basically computers and users that are using origin for AI activity tracking. And of course IAM, where we can define different level of access to different agents, repositories. We can invite members and add them the specific set of rules we want and permissions. And setting block, where we have basically general configuration available. We can also change the coding plan and define the coding plan per agent. We can add more API keys. We can check and add or remove our integrations. So currently we support GitHub, GitLab, Slack, email reports, and also AI provider, which is recommended to configure in order to be able to receive PR summary checks and use other useful features of origin. Notifications, audit log, which is basically a full log of activities reported through origin, and the compliance tab, which sometimes being used for compliance reports and contains a lot of useful information. That's pretty much it. That's the overview of features and functionalities of Origin platform. Thank you for watching this video. Please share your feedback and stay tuned for next videos.